Hello, welcome back. You're here for the final installment, I guess, of the installation of my chicken coop edition. So we've put on, if you've been following along, and all of these videos are in a playlist. They'll all be tied together, of course. But if you've been following along, we've put in a base and legs. Then we put in the floor, as well as the subfloor underneath to support it. We framed up walls and put them in. Now we've covered these walls with sheathing. The only thing we have left to do is I need to put a roof on the sucker, and then a couple finishing up things inside, such as some perches, and I'm going to be for now I'm going to be closing off what will be the nest boxes, and I will build those at a later date. So we'll come back with that video, but that's probably not going to be for a bit. The chickens that are going in here, as I've said before, they're about 6 weeks old, so we've easily got it 12 weeks before they'll be laying eggs. And I've got some time, and it's spring, and I've got bees, and I've got gardening, and I've got a ton of other things I need to focus on right now once I get these chicks out in here and out of the brooder in the garage. So with that being said, we're going to get started. I'm going to get this roof hoisted up here. Try not to laugh too much. As you can see, I'm going to lift you up here. There's not a lot of clearance there, so it'll be interesting to see how well I'm going to be able to screw this piece of plywood in, just due to the fact that I may not be able to get my arms and head and legs and body in there. I may need to get my daughter, who's about 90 pounds, to crawl up there and screw the stuff in. So we'll see how it goes, and I appreciate you being here. I totally forgot. I was so excited about finishing this project. I'm Dave. You're not. Well, maybe you are. Maybe you're Dave too. In which case, congratulations, great name. But we're here and we're figuring things out, and you're going to hopefully learn something maybe. And if you don't, maybe you'll learn what not to do. So let's get started. Surprise, here I am again. I bet you all didn't know I do my own stunts. So it was simply too tight, and I'm too chunky to fit between here and here, and to be able to reach these last screws up here, which are very important because this is where the seam's going to be in the roof that I had to do. Now it is still under this eave, so this eave right here is going to very much protect it, and it slopes away from this crevice, so all the water should flow away, but whatever rain or snow or whatever falls right through here is the only thing going to get caught on this roof. And the screw to get up in there, I simply couldn't do it. So what I did was went around and got the big ladder, got up on this roof and this roof, let me see it so you can see it, this roof and this roof, and screwed those last couple screws in, and it looks good. I'm happy with it. I've got a nice spot here now for the chicks. The plan is, if you haven't been following along, just real quick, is that when I bring out the new chicks, they're about 6 or 7 weeks old. I don't want to throw them right in with the big girls. I've heard or read a lot of things and watched a lot of things that is definitely not the way to go. And so by building this addition, I'm going to be able to keep them separate with that screened entrance, which later the screen will be removed, to keep them, get them used to each other and around each other for maybe a week or two. I'll just keep the chicks in here feeding and keep them right in here feeding and watering, really let them know where home is. And then we're going to introduce them and mingle them, because I got 8 more chicks coming in June, as I said before, from a local source. And then it's going to be, you know, rinse, wash, repeat, whatever. Wash, rinse, repeat. And those new chicks in June will go out into the garage, and then they will come here, and the other ones will all be in the main coop, which is, you know, the blue building here. And then once those 8 that come in June are ready to be integrated, they'll come out here, just like the ones they're going to do in a week or two. Not even a week or two, a day or two. They'll get integrated, and eventually they'll learn, you know, their place in the flock as well. So I'm going to slip inside here. We're going to screw a couple things on, and I'm going to see if possibly I can do some perches as well. And this project's about done, other than I gotta frame out the door. And I don't think I have hinges, which means, and it's Sunday, which means I probably have to go to the hardware store tomorrow. But let's do the perches, and then you'll see the inside for the big inside reveal. Thanks. Okay, well, we're in here up close and personal now. You're inside the addition. Really, the last thing to do here, I'm just going to close the wall off, but I do want to put a perch in here so that the birds are ready to go. They probably won't perch right at the beginning, but they will eventually. So we want to make sure that they're ready for that. What we've got here is, these are 17 inches. They're going to just go underneath. Sorry, it's hard to see. This is a 2x4. It's going to go underneath. The perch is going to be screwed right onto that. And then we've got something for the birds to sit on. One of the most important things with perches, and I'm going to turn you around, is that they be higher than the nesting box. So that bottom 2x4 at the bottom of that hole, that's the height of the nesting box. That's about 8 inches, I believe. And then we've got the perches here, and they're going to be higher. They're going to be 17 inches, just like I said. The reason that that's important is because if the perches are lower than the nesting box, then the birds will have a tendency to want to perch or sleep in the nesting boxes at night, and that will then they'll end up defecating and making messes in the nesting box and not using the nesting box for what it should be. So when you provide a perch, always provide a perch higher than the nesting box. And I like to use it's untreated. I don't like I try not to use treated inside of a coop. It's probably not a lot of chemicals, but you know, they peck at it and they peck and try to eat anything. So I'd rather use untreated lumber and then make sure that everything's painted and taken care of as far as weatherproofing. The other thing, I do use a 2x4. Everything I've read, and I'm not an expert on this because I'm only in my first year, but everything I've read is that when the bird sits at night, you want the bird's foot to be flat on down. That if they have to curl, that's where they start ending up having problems or issues with their feet. And that on a flat board like this, so they can sit and they can sit down on it and just be right there as far as resting at night and not like trying to grip, you know, a pole or a smaller piece of wood. So that's what I've got. That's what I do. I hope that's right. If you know otherwise or have heard otherwise, by all means, please leave me a comment. And in the meantime, I'm going to get started. Okay, sorry about that. I had to make one more on-the-fly adjustment. And that is, hopefully you can see that. I know the lighting in here is bad because I've already closed off where the nest boxes were. Let's see. I brought a little portable light in here. Maybe that'll help. Okay, so I was going to have the perch go all the way over to where the nest boxes were, and then I realized it'll interfere with the nest boxes. So now it's only going to go to like the last 2x4 before the boxes. So here we go. Ready for fast forward? Go for it. Okay, so I managed to bend a screw, and that sucker is not, nope, it's not going to come out. So I have to recut this piece. Fortunately, I brought several more, so it will not deter me. So we're done. I have gotten this entire edition. You have been along for some, if not any of it or all of it. I appreciate anybody who's watched and hung out and been with me. This took longer than I thought it would. I would say if I have any suggestions on this sort of project is to plan, whatever you plan, it may take double that, seriously. Materials, unexpected things, life. I mean, it all sometimes conspires against you, and not in a bad way. It's just, it is what it is. And you have to kind of just deal with it. But anyway, it's done. Like I said, I had expected to be done 2 weeks ago when the birds were about 4 weeks old, but it is done now. This right here, I always get that backwards because it gets reversed. So this right here will be the entrance door into the area we're sitting in, and that will, I will go put that together. I'll probably show it all finished maybe in just a short or something like that. But this series is done. This project is done. Thank you all very much. I hope it helped you with something. I hope you learned something. I know I certainly, as with every project I do, I learn something, and I appreciate you being here with me. So if you like what you saw, as always, please like, share, and subscribe, and then stay safe, stay prepared, and you have a good day. I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.